Gen X grew up on late-night warnings.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Scared, straight.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
And were inspired by movies that defined a generation.
We were all pretty bizarre. Some of us are just better at hiding it, that's all.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I feel the need for speed.
We found our attitude in comedy.
I'm Gumby, damn it!
You see that sign?
No shirt, no shoes.
No dice!
Right. Learn it. Know it. Live it.
And our identity in pop culture.
I want my MTV!
I want my MTV.
I want my MTV!
What you talking about, Willis?
Keep your feet in the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
This is Gen X Men with Bill Rowland and Gary Dollarhide.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Oh, episode 37 is here. Welcome everyone. Bill Rowland, Gary Dollarhide. We're back again. It's the Gen X Men podcast. Do what that little scrolling thing right there says. Like and subscribe. Help us out, whether you're on Spotify, YouTube. Want to try to grow the channel as best we can. As always, you can leave us a comment. You can leave us notes, email, whatever it is. Let us know what kind of topics you want us to hit up here on Gen X Men. So,
we do accept Venmo, Bill.
Well, Venmo, yes. We'll get all that. If they want Venmo, we'll get on our PayPal or whatever else we need. That's fine.
We'll accept that.
That's right. Lots to get to. We're going to talk. The summer season is here. The summer movie season is here. So we're going to go back 40 years, talk about what may be one of the biggest summers in Gen X history as far as when we were growing up, all the monster movies that came out. And I don't mean monster like Frankenstein. I mean like big, giant movies that came out all the way back in 1986. We'll talk a little bit about a staple of McDonald's that was created. What was that, 1981?
79.
79.
June
right.
of 79.
June of 79. And, of course, June, grads and dads. So we're going to talk a little graduation as well. But first, we have gigantic news for the show. One of us is now a bigwig politician in their town, and it ain't me. So, I know you don't have a Nazi tattoo on your chest, so I'm not sure how you won this thing up in Maine. Because apparently that's a prerequisite to being a big politician is to have a Nazi tattoo. But you're gonna be like Trump. You're gonna be like the guy that's doing all the backroom dealing,
wheels and deals, right?
People. Yeah.
Now there might be some dirty text out there, but no Nazi tattoos.
Yeah, but I mean, you got the opportunity now to be like one of those mafia guys. That you got your hand in all the construction. It's going to be great.
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it came out of nowhere, and for those of you wondering, I was named the Assistant Code Enforcement Officer for the town I live in. Now, do I have any experience? No. Am I going to learn it real fast? Yes. But I'm here to serve the people, and that's what it's all about, Bill.
How did you get nominated for this?
So, very small town. Let's just start there.
Oh, sure.
And they are always looking for people to help out. And we happened to be in the town office the other day doing something else. And God bless her, our town clerk she's a recruiter. Hey, do you know anybody that want to do this, that? And so I passed on Gravedigger because there is a town Gravedigger. That's one of them.
Now, I'm assuming you would get to drive like the backhoe to dig it. You're not doing it by hand.
Correct. Well, they want you to have your own backhoe, right? So it kind of limits the people that can actually do the job.
You don't have one, do you?
But you can't. No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
But you can hand dig it if you want.
You're going to hand dig 6 feet by 6 feet, and I don't think so.
Correct. I mean, they used to do it back in the day. There is a town cemetery here. I couldn't even tell you the last time someone probably used it because that's it's kind of an old leftover New England thing about you just being buried in the town you lived in.
Yeah.
So I passed on that animal control officer as well, but based on my background doing some real estate appraisal back in the day, I felt, hey, I could do some code compliance. I can measure out that front of your house better be that 80 feet from the center line of the road and all sorts of little tidbits like that.
Acts and all that stuff. Sure.
Yeah. Because the gentleman that's currently doing the job, I think they said he's 90. And so
you're his assistant.
I'm his assistant. So
right.
his time at some point, I guess he's going to retire, and we better prepare for the future is the words I heard.
Yeah, well, I mean, he wants to go play some golf, so he's got to, have more time on his hands. Now, let me ask you: does he live in one of the nicer houses in town?
I do not know. I couldn't tell you.
You might want to check that out, because if he's living in like one of the nicer ones, then
I'll know.
Then he's going to be able to tell you, how to grease the wheels a little bit.
Exactly.
Get a little taste yourself when you're handing out those permits.
Yeah, first foray into town politics, because I was at the meeting tonight, was appointed by the town selectmen. So, but no parade, no swearing on a book or anything.
How many people are in the meeting?
Let me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11.
Oh, would they count everybody?
Hey, but broadcast live on YouTube Live.
There you go.
They do that.
Probably have a bigger audience than this podcast has. So, that's awesome.
I was shocked. I mean, it's my second meeting that I've attended. The first one was just out of curiosity when we first moved here 2 years ago.
Right.
So tonight they were like, "Oh yeah, we're on YouTube Live," and I was like, "That's pretty impressive."
You're like, we're not. Podcast, we'll do it live.
We may have to try this.
Absolutely. I'd be all for going live at some point.
Get the technical person for the town of Thorndike.
I don't even think we need anybody technical. I think I just have to hit a different button than just record. I think we're live, and then we can go from there. I'll have to mess around there. Maybe we'll go live.
Special edition. That we'll save it for special editions.
Yeah. So when a permit application comes in, they just call you up and they're like, "Hey, go check out. Make sure this guy's doing what he's supposed to be doing."
Correct. I will have to check in. It's a little bit more proactive on my spot. There's no office hours.
Right.
It's pretty much on call.
Right.
But I can call down to the town clerk, send an email, because we do have that technology now here, and just say, "Hey, did anything come in? Anything I need to come down and review?" And then go from there.
Yeah, I think I would just leave my cell phone with that clerk and just be like, if you need me, I'm like Batman. Here's how you get in touch with me. Throw up the bat signal, and I'll come down and pull the permit and check out what we got going on. Otherwise, I'm just going to assume nobody's building anything here.
Yes. Set off fireworks. That might be the better one.
There you go. Send up a flare, and you'll come down and pull the permit.
I will come save the day.
And then go tell the guy, "Look, man, this isn't up to code. You can't build it this way. It's all got to come down."
I'm waiting for my first interaction of a less than cordial nature when it comes to something. When I go, no. Let me tell you how this is going to be.
Somebody might pull a gun, tell you to get off their property. It might go that way.
In this area of Maine, it could very well happen.
Yeah,
and I'm still trying to figure out what to do with the Amish folks who live here, because I don't know if they admit and follow our codes or not. They kind of have their own way of life.
Here's the thing: I don't think you got to worry about them if they're raising a barn of it not being up to code, because it's probably well beyond whatever code the average government wants to put in place. Because those dudes can build a barn and it's going to last forever. I'd be more worried about the guy building like a little deck off of the back of his house that's using, no footers at all, just a couple of 2x4s and nailing them to the house and figuring it'll probably hold. That's what I'd be worried about.
Yes. No, I mean, surprisingly, in the Amish community, they have very nice metal roofs, because the Amish actually own a metal roof company in the neighboring town. So you can pick them out pretty quick. It's like, oh, that's the nice house with the roof. That must be, oh, yep, there's a horse in the front yard. They're Amish.
You got to get them to come over and build you a little something for your spot.
Oh, I'd love to get them to build me a barn, but They're very particular, is my understanding.
As far as who they build for?
Yeah, because they also have a shed business. I mean, for lack of, they've got
Like
kind
the
of like
mafia. They get their hand.
I
in
was about to
everything.
say it's like the mafia because they have select businesses here in this town and the neighboring town. You know, one is power equipment, metal roofing. I mean,
Wait a minute, power equipment. They're not supposed to be doing that.
they can do that, but here's the neat part. They will tell you what you need because they don't use computers.
Mm-hmm.
So they expect you to go away, you look up the part, have it sent in, and they'll put it in for you.
Oh, I got you. Okay,
Yep.
I mean, that's fair.
But
Are they in garbage disposal as well? Because that's a big mafia thing.
no, that's
Okay.
by another family
Oh,
in
okay.
another nearby town that handles all of that.
All right, just seeing if they got their hand into all
And
that.
then-
Stuff. Are they in the concrete business? That's
No.
another one. All
No,
right.
they are in the donut business. If you go to they do run a general purpose store in the next town, and everyone lines up for the fresh donuts on Wednesday mornings. So
Makes
donut
sense.
business is in.
There you go. They got their hand in everything, man. I'm telling you. So that's good. That's fun, though. I mean, something to do. And who
It
knows?
is.
In 4 or 5 years, maybe you run for Senate because why not?
Because anyone can in the state of Maine, apparently.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Just don't go on Reddit and insult people, and you'll be fine.
Well,
all you
if
can
he
do.
survives it, then maybe it's okay. That's the thing.
It's wacky, and I love. I mean, again, we're not going to get into politics and stuff, but I love all the people melting down about California. Right now, as we take this, I guess Spencer Pratt finished second in the mayoral race in LA, which means he'll have a runoff with Karen Bass. But they're like, well, we won't know for another 10 days because we have to wait and see what other mail-in ballots
The mail-ins.
show up. And I'm like, again, I don't want to be conspiratorial, but it's like, okay, so they're just going to wait and be like, you got a week for all these mail-in ballots to show up. And then I guarantee you for the next 4 or 5 days, we're just going to see his lead over third place shrink and shrink and shrink. And then next, Monday night, they're going to be like, wow, amazing. Spencer Pratt's now in third. Oh, we're not counting. You don't get into the runoff. That's just my guess.
Well, sure. There was an interesting stat I saw that I want to say when a Republican wins the election, the night of the election when it's called, 82% of the time.
Right.
And then for a Democrat to win after the election, i.e., we're waiting on mail-in ballots, et cetera, it's more like 96% of the time that they win those.
Right.
So
because they use mail-in ballots more than Republicans do.
Of course.
That's what I've been told anyway. So
yes,
again,
of course.
I don't care because it's LA.
Yes.
But I just look at if all those stories are true, and I haven't heard anybody come out and say that they aren't. The fact that Karen Bass used to go to Cuba and hang out with the communists and the Castro people and all that kind of stuff, immediately, again, just my opinion, I'm disqualified. Sorry, disqualified. You shouldn't be able to win in a major metropolitan city like LA if you are hanging out with the Cubans and the communists back in the 70s. Just shouldn't happen. Just me. But apparently that's okay. I don't know.
Bill, there are towns in the state of Maine right now, some of your bigger ones, that are trying to get the Pledge of Allegiance out of town meetings.
That's gone everywhere. I mean, there are schools that don't do it anymore. I mean, it's, that's just what it is. But I just look at it and go, again, we grew up with the name of the show, Gen X Men. We grew up when the communists were the enemies.
Yes.
The Cold War. I mean, all that stuff, Reagan, everything. Say what you want about, Ronnie Reagan and all that other stuff. We won. When they tore down the Berlin Wall,
it was it.
Nobody was running east, going, yes, finally, we can get into East Germany. We've been waiting all these years. That's not how it happened. They came the other way. They ran west. So we grew up communism bad. That's why I'm how is it possible that she's just gone and hung out with Castro and all these people for all these years, like over and over again, and everybody just kind of goes, yeah, you know.
Mm.
The same thing with your dude in Maine. We were taught all through World War II and everything else, Nazi bad. This dude's got a tattoo for 20 years. Nobody points it out to him. Bull. He knew.
He knew at the time.
And then when it came up, he's like, oh, I'll just put a wolf over it. Another symbol of Nazi. The wolf. Like, what are we talking about? Everybody just went, oh, look at that. He's evolved. It's like, get out of here.
I mean, I will say we won't get into politics, but it's unbelievable the amount of love for this guy. When I just look at it, he's a character.
Right.
It's not that he's been involved in local politics. It's not anything. He's a character that seems to have been made or formulated just for this race.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see the substance, and that's what gets to me. At least with the governor who was running against him, because she's termed out this year, right? You know, she's been in politics. Like, you see a record. It's real.
Right.
This guy, somehow they've created a character out of thin air, and somehow it's working.
It's crazy because, again, I'm not Maine. You vote who forever you want to. It's fine. But it's just crazy to me that all these people are coming out and supporting him, like he's, campaigning with Bernie Sanders and everything else. It's like all we've heard from people since 2016 and even more since 2024 with Trump, who, by the way, as an aside, I did not vote for any of the 3 times that he ran. Just put that out there so people aren't like, oh, this a MAGA guy. Just screaming because he's MAGA. I'm not. But I don't get the whole idea that all we've heard is how much of a fascist and a Nazi that Donald Trump is. Here's a guy who's an actual Nazi with the tattoo. And everybody's like, it's cool. He's got a D next to his name. It's fine. All right. I'm like, okay. I mean, if that's what we're doing. All right. Have at it.
It's the old, as long as it's my guy, it's okay. That's where we're at.
Exactly.
So anyway.
Bunch of hypocrites. You want to do summer movies first? You want to talk a little graduation?
Let's talk graduation because you guys are ahead of us. We're still about a week and a half from graduations up here.
Okay, well, yeah, they've started.
So school is still in session, at least through the 15th.
Yeah, school's still in session here. The seniors
have
been done. Yeah, the seniors have been done for a couple of weeks. I actually went to a graduation party Sunday for a couple of the kids that I coached. They're graduating, going off to college, and they were nice enough to invite me to their party. I appreciate it. It was fun. I was there for like 15 minutes because, again, they're inviting you to be nice and polite and hope that maybe you'll bring a card.
Bring cash.
Right, exactly.
Bring cash.
They're going to come over and say hi and thank you for coming. They want to go hang out with their friends. They don't care.
Yes.
And that's fine. I know. I get it. But, yeah, so I went to one of their parties and everything, and I was talking to one of the kids, and I'm like, I was like, so are you guys done? Like, what's – and they're like, oh, yeah, we've been done for like 2 weeks. I'm like, you don't have any exams, anything left? They're like, no, we're finished. I'm like, you don't graduate for like another 8 or 9 days. Like, it's like they haven't done anything for like 3 weeks, they said. So they've been done since the middle of May. So I don't know.
Oh.
I know Carrie has to go to school all the way through Friday of next week. So she has 7 more days, not counting the weekend, 7 days till she's done. So, yeah, it's here. And I was up at George Mason yesterday. And, of course, I forgot. And I left from the rack where I was up there because, yes, it was the first day that the basketball team was having their summer workouts. So I wanted to stop by there and see all the new guys because, again, there's a ton of them. And then I was leaving from what was the old Lynn Gym to go out, and I wanted to go up 123 towards, like, Clifton out that way because that's where I cut through to get to where I live so I don't have to go on 66 and everything. I forgot about graduation. And so instead of going out the back way towards the field house and then up 123, I was going to cut out to Braddock and then make the left on 123.
Mm-hmm.
And I went around Patriot Circle over towards Braddock, and they had the cut off where you couldn't go out to Braddock right there at like University Hall. You had to go further down and then up. And I was like, it took me like 20 minutes to get out of Mason because I forgot. it's high school graduation season, and that graduation had just let out. But they did something, I want to say 40 or 50 of these things, I think.
Wow.
Told me. I mean, it's like nonstop. They'll roll out 3 or 4 in a day. Just like, okay, you graduated at noon, you get 2.5 hours. You guys got to be the heck out of here. We got another one coming at 3, another one at 6, another one at 9. Let's roll. Come on. So, yeah, it's that time of the year. But here's what I don't understand.
Yes.
When we were graduating from high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I know, look, I'm going to make a statement. I know it's hyperbole. Not everyone graduates from high school. Everyone graduates from high school. That's what I'm going to say. It's no different than, again, look, I get it. When you have a kid, it's a miracle. It's a wonderful thing. But you know what? It's been going on for thousands and thousands of years. You're not that special because you were able to have a kid. Let's be honest. It's been going on forever, or we wouldn't be here. You know, that's where I'm on that. I'm the same way with graduations. Like, hey, man, I'm glad that your kid graduated high school, but everybody graduates high school. You know, like but so there are signs in every yard.
Signs.
And it's either what, it might be a couple of signs. It might see, like around here, the local high school, their nickname is the Sharks. So it says something like a graduating shark lives here or something like that. And then it'll be, congratulations, boo-boo. We're headed off to whatever school it is. And it's like, well, what if I don't see any of them that say, congratulations, boo-boo. Good luck at Nova. I don't see any of that. And I don't see any of the ones like for the kids that might be going into the military, which is just as impressive to me as going to college. But you don't see any of that. It's all like, oh, boo-boo's off to Virginia Tech or off to, wherever. I'm like, nobody put those signs up when we were kids. Like, when did this become a thing?
Well, I'm sure Hallmark got involved somehow. We had to create, or retail marketing, if you will. We had to create a whole new event that we could sell items for. Remember we talked about it. It went from Christmas to Thanksgiving to 20-foot skeletons for Halloween, and so now we've added graduation season in, so we can sell signs and all the party favors that go with that. Congratulations, or the hey, Boo Boo starts at McDonald's Monday morning at 5 a.m. Go get your coffee signs.
Right. I didn't see any of those either. I didn't see any of those. Welcome to, good luck, Boo Boo at, electrician school, which again, that'd be a smarter
There's the
play
money
than
move
going to
right there.
college in a lot of cases.
That is the money move.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Going to be an electrician or a plumber or something like that. No doubt. But yeah, you got all the signs. I saw, and this kind of ties in with like prom and stuff, but I see all the people, like these kids or their parents or whoever's like renting these big, expensive, they ain't buying them. They're not theirs. We know this. It's the whole rap thing, the whole, rap video thing where they've got, or just rock and roll videos in general, all these expensive cars and everything else. And you see these kids are like 19 and they're leaning up against like some Lambo that they rented for like, the afternoon, and like spreading their cash that their parents took out of the ATM that they're going to give right back to them so they can put it back in the bank when they're done with their big photo shoot. Like, what started that? I didn't even take a limo to my high school prom or graduation. I just drove a normal car. When did this start happening?
I drove the old truck. I think it's remnant of probably MTV, the whole My Sweet 16 business. Remember that show where they were recording these outlandish Sweet 16 parties? So I figured it's just an extension of that. Again, the right people like, oh, we can do this and, make it a profit center too. Just, because everyone graduates, like you said.
Right.
If you do Sweet 16 parties, you're only going to get half the people.
Yeah.
So
I guess my thing is like, if my son or daughter came to me and was like, I want to rent a Porsche to take my graduation or my prom pictures in or whatever, I would be like,
no.
Why? Well, first it'd be why. Because I want to put it on the gram, or I'm going to throw it up on Snapchat or whatever. I'm going to throw it up on all these social media things. And I'd be like, I hope your paper route paid you a lot of money, whatever you have been working, because you can absolutely rent that Porsche for however many hours you want. It's going to sit right in the parking lot because they're not going to let you drive it anywhere. So, sure, you want to look like a dum-dum and go to a parking lot and take pictures in front of a Porsche that you rented for 2 hours that you couldn't drive? On your dime. Otherwise, no, not paying for that.
I'm not even sure how it's on your dime because being the same, if it was my son, I'd say, hey, go use that AI, pick whatever car, plane, yacht you want, add all the people, women that you want on it, celebrities. I don't care because it's going to cost me nothing.
Right.
There you go.
Right. But that would be the thing. I'd be like, yeah, look, if you can convince them to drive the Porsche or Lambo or whatever, whatever car you want and park it so you can take pictures, have fun all day long. They're not going to rent to you, and I'm not renting it for you, and I'm not driving it. So you got to figure it out, but I'm not paying for it, and I'm not driving it. So there you go. That's it. I mean, I just don't get it. I just don't understand it.
Well, I've been amazed up here. It's more like how I grew up. Everyone pretty much, except for a few of the big cities, graduated in their own gyms or in their own football field versus, hey, we need to rent this very large event center, i.e. Eagle Bank Arena in Portland. It's the Portland Arena. Why can't you just have it at school? Limit people. It feels like a big expense that's unnecessary.
Well, I think Fairfax County has a deal with Eagle Bank. I don't know what goes on. I think the schools, because it is run, by state of Virginia, technically, I think they maybe get a deal for it. And here's the thing: when I graduated, it rained, so it was in our gym, which meant you could only have 2 tickets per kid. So, like, my grandmother came down from Maine for my high school graduation, and then couldn't
shut out.
Yeah, couldn't see it because my mom and dad went to graduation. So my sister wasn't there. My grandmother didn't go. There are people that just couldn't go. If it had been on the football field, sure. But I guess they do that because you do have people that are coming into town, and all of a sudden, if it rains, well, now you got to go inside. And some of these gyms, I mean, even the larger schools. I mean, think about it like a place like Chantilly, where I coach. They probably have 700-800 people, kids graduate.
Oh, See, I forget that.
They have giant schools here. So even if you gave the kids 2 tickets apiece, I don't know, you can fit 1,600 people in that gym. Maybe you can, but it's not going to be comfortable.
Well, maybe.
And I don't even know if you could fit 800 chairs on the floor in the gym, in our gym to do it. I bet you couldn't. I bet you couldn't do it. So,
well, there was, because there was 94 in my graduating class. So we and all the family that everyone brought fit comfortably in a regular sized gym.
Right.
But you're right, with 800. So I guess what if you just, very similar to Eagle Bank, divided it out by letters? Okay, A, B, and C, 9 a.m. D, E, F, G, 11 a.m.
That's interesting.
You're just not going to have a big group graduation.
That's interesting. I bet they wouldn't do that because that's a long ass day for the that's a long day for the administrative people at that point. And you want to graduate with your friends, Yeah. So if you're, we wouldn't have, not that we were in the same high school, but your last name was D, mine is R, so we wouldn't have been in the same group graduating. But yeah, I'm thinking about it now. I don't think you could fit without pulling. And my graduating class was 250. You're talking about 500 people in the gym, easy. They could do it. Put all the chairs down. But if you have the
bigger schools,
right? Even if you have a 600 person class, I don't know if you could fit 600 chairs on a gym floor. Again, you got to have the stage where you walk up and everything else. I don't know that you could fit that many chairs. And here's the other thing: do you have 600 chairs in the school at all that you could bring? And you'd probably have to rent chairs to bring down and set up. I don't know.
I've never. Well, like I said, my high school was 94. I think my son's was 100, 110.
Yeah, we were like 250.
I can't imagine a school of, like you said, 600, 700, 800 sitting there.
It's a nightmare.
Each one crosses over and gets their name read. One after, like that would, I'd almost want it planned out. Like, hey, call me when you get to the S's, and I'll stick my head in.
Dude,
Oh no, for you, you know, the letter before your,
Well,
have your
here's the
kid
thing.
text you.
You got to remember, my ex, her 2 daughters, last name started with a W.
Oh, geez.
I sat through, and they went to Chantilly. I sat through 2 high school graduations waiting for that W to be called. And I mean, you sat, and you're on your phone, and you're kind of like, okay, they're on the J's, halfway home, like that kind of thing. I mean, it takes a while.
So that's a motorcycle going by.
I guess so. I was like, is that a helicopter going over? I didn't know what that was.
I don't know if you could hear that or not.
Yeah, it was loud and clear.
A little bit throaty there.
Yeah.
So here's a funny. Do you remember who your guest speaker was?
No, I was talking about this with Carrie beforehand because I asked her if she had any good stories from graduation, and she went, no. Her class was, I think, less than 100. She went to a private Catholic school down in Texas. So that she was like, no, we didn't do that. And I said, did you guys had the all-night graduation parties gotten, was that a thing for you guys? She graduated 2 years after us. And she was like, well, we had one. She's like, but it wasn't all night. It was just like afterwards, like they had a party, I guess, at the school. I said, no, I'm not talking about that. We went to the rec center, Lee District Park. And yeah, it was all night. You had to be checked in by, I think, 11 o'clock. If you left, no comebacksies. There's no stamp in your hand, and you could come back later. It was once you left, and it went until I think 6 o'clock. I think that's right, 5 or 6 o'clock, because we all went. You had to check in. Well, I guess check-in started at 11. They cut it off at midnight, so if you weren't there by midnight, you couldn't get in. And then it went till like 5 or 6 in the morning, and then because I remember a bunch of us went to breakfast at McDonald's actually after the graduation party. But it was cool. They did like, the casino thing, and they had the pool there. So you could go swim and all that other stuff. And it was kind of cool. Like I thought, I was going to suck, but it wasn't bad. It was fun. One last time with everybody. So it wasn't bad.
They had that for my son. Kind of the same thing. You checked in. There was no outsiders allowed. No friends from other. It was just locked down. It's just this group only until 7 o'clock the next morning, and they had activities and events, and a lot of the parents were involved. We didn't have that, but what we had, and not a lot of people have anymore, we had the senior class trip to Florida.
Yeah, no, there was no class trip for us. Now, a bunch of people went to Beach Week after graduation, which I didn't really understand that in high school because from what I remember, a lot of them had like parents or whoever had, because you're not going to rent to a bunch of high school kids.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how. I think a bunch of parents went down originally, and I was like, I don't really care about that. So
we so the tradition was during the state testing that would happen.
Right.
Seniors did not take it because you were out and they weren't tracking it.
Right.
So traditionally, our high school, county teachers, select group of teachers and the students hopped on buses and went to Florida for the week. And so it's sort of similar thing. You checked in at the school. They went through the bags, just like TSA back in the day, looking for alcohol, anything that shouldn't be there, sealed them up, put them on the bus. And then, it was a week down in Florida. And I mean, it was fun. I mean, went to Disney World, SeaWorld, beaches, medieval times. I mean, it was
that's awesome.
Quite the trip. But again,
your parents paid for it?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And there was fundraisers because obviously not everyone is on the same income spectrum because we grew up in a rural county, and it was to make sure everyone could go as best we could. So,
that's cool.
But it was a good time. I saw some pictures from it the other day that someone posted on one of these, what is it, classmates.com or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I looked at it and said, whoa, look at that. Just kind of remembering back.
Yeah.
The senior class trip.
Yeah, we didn't have that at all. So that's cool. That would have been fun. Now, did you have any like hot teachers that went?
Not the one I would have wanted.
I was gonna say, did you have any hot teachers? That would be the other question. So
there was one or two. I wouldn't call them hot. They were just the pick of the bunch, but they didn't go.
Rural Virginia, yes.
Correct.
Okay, I got
it.
That might have been awkward if you had like some single, like 25, 26-year-old teacher that's only been teaching for a couple of years. And she's like, sure, I'll take I'll go on the bus down to Florida.
Well, did we just talk about this the other
Yeah,
week?
we did. Well, yeah. I mean, but yeah.
Things teachers do.
That would have been a little odd, maybe. All right. So with that, obviously
Yes.
when summertime hits, that's when all the big movies have come out. The blockbuster kind of became a thing actually during our lifetime. Where
Yes.
nobody really talked about summer blockbusters, and then there was Jaws. And I think then there was Star Wars, and it just kept building and building and building. And I think you could argue that 86, the summer of 86, one of the best summers for movies for us, for our generation.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll start you off. These are the 5 movies that made the most during that summer, not during the year, but during the summer, basically May to September. Okay. We'll start off at number 5. And you heard a couple of these movies are actually in our opening here. Number 5, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, which I think has become even more. When you hear the other ones, you're gonna be like, well, wait a minute, Ferris Bueller should be number 2 probably on this list. It's at number 5, and again, just another John Hughes movie, right?
Yes.
Another movie where the same thing with like 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, all these things. Like the parents are there, but not really.
Yes.
And I always love. I've thought about that about John Hughes movies. It's almost like a Peanuts cartoon where the parents are there, but yeah, nobody's really paying attention to it, right? Like Ferris's parents are completely clueless to everything.
Yes.
Like and so that's the same thing like 16 Candles. They were so worried about the wedding. They didn't pay any attention to Claire in 16 Candles. So it's just like in Breakfast Club, the only time you saw the parents is when they pulled up at the end to pick them up. So that's what I love about that. John Hughes. The same thing with Ferris Bueller. Again, love the movie when it first came out. The whole idea of like breaking the fourth wall and talking to the audience was brilliant. It was fantastic, right? I mean, it should have made more money.
Well, and that was the thing. It became such a huge icon after the theater. And part of me says, we saw it in the theater, but we didn't really appreciate it till we saw it 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 more times on home video. And now all the time you can see it on
Blockbuster.
Right? And cable channels. It's always on. And it's just that comfort movie that it's funny. It takes you back to, 86 and that time frame in your life. And that's why it just became such a bigger thing after its theater run.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, here's the question for that. We've talked about, we did the whole thing on Breakfast Club and whether or not you could make it today and if it's problematic. We've talked about 16 Candles and some of the scenes in that and how it'd be problematic. Is there anything in Ferris Bueller that you look at and go, boy, that wouldn't fly today? I'm not sure I can think of anything in there.
Not offhand that just sticks out that, you couldn't do that. No, I think you could get away with it, actually.
I mean, 16 Candles, there's, again, over and over and over again, you can pick the scenes that you're like, you can't do that now.
Yeah.
The donger. You couldn't have that character. You couldn't have that character at all. Anyway. Yeah. Farmer Ted waking up in the parking lot with the blonde because what's his face gave his girlfriend to Anthony Michael Hall's character
when she was drunk
and kind of said, have a good time. I think that was one of the lines in there was have a good time. And then he takes her to his buddy's house and is taking pictures in the car with
to
her.
prove it.
That'd be a problem. Right?
Yes.
So Breakfast Club, we've talked about all the things in there that would be problems today. All the things they said. I don't think Ferris Bueller, because a lot of people say that about John Hughes movies, that they're problematic. I don't think there is anything in there.
I don't think there is. I'm kind of rolling through it, and there was nothing. I mean, the humor was good. There was no deep, dark secondary thing. I mean, maybe when Cameron gets a little upset whether he wants to live or not, kind of that pool scene.
Yeah, but
that's not
But that's no
you can
different
pull that
than
off.
That's no different than any other teenage angst movie.
Yeah.
You're having a crisis, that type of thing.
Yes.
That happens in teen movies now because that's just being a teenager.
Yeah.
So
but that's the only quote unquote dark spot that I could think of from that movie because everything else is just hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real how making sure that we don't screw up the algorithm here, but there's no there's sexual innuendo in it, but it's not as heavy as like in The Breakfast
The
Club
others
when they talk about things going on and everything else. So I don't think there's as much in it. Now, again, what was it? Breakfast Club was R, so that makes a bit of a difference as well because Ferris Bueller wasn't. But yeah, all right. So number 4, this is again just summer 1986. Maybe one of the best scary sci-fi in space movies, even to this day. Aliens. Oh, yeah. Number 4.
I think that was the not new trend of sci-fi, but I mean, it was scary. It was interesting. Space, the classic, stomach explosion. Everyone always wants to talk about, and just an outlandish, I think probably what it was for me, the sci-fi alien business up until then wasn't quite, it was kind of quirky, kind of campy.
Right.
And this is the first time we get almost a predator animal that's really just realistic and just unlike anything we've ever seen. And it's, very different than things from before, especially for the age group I was then. There may have been some others, but
14,
that was kind of the breakthrough of, geez, that was scary.
And unlike now where you have like the women heroines beating up, the 6'5" monster bouncer or bad guy, and she's 5 foot nothing, and all of a sudden is doing karate and kicks this guy's ass, and we all go, okay, women empowerment, we get it. It's not realistic, but okay. Sigourney Weaver was a badass in this movie.
Yes.
It wasn't because she was like beating up guys that were 2 and 3 times her size. She was just a badass.
Outsmarting, outthinking. It was part of it, yeah.
Right. And that's I like that more than the we're gonna go out and just beat everybody up, even though, again, it's like not realistic. Which is kind of annoying for some of these movies these days that they do. That's like, can we just stop with this? It's you want to take out a gun and shoot the guy? Okay. Kind of like, again, I look at it like Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Remember that scene where the guys mess with all the swords, and you see Indy's like, I can't do anything. He's gonna kill. I got a whip. Oh wait, no, I have this too. The guy, and then you go, yeah, that makes sense because he would have lost had he tried to fight that guy, but he didn't. He shot him, so it worked.
Yes.
Number 3, and this is kind of, I'm not going to say the return or the comeback, but kind of almost like he's hit his peak, I think, is Back to School. Rodney Dangerfield. That's like, to me, is that his top movie? Because, I mean, look, let's face it, Ladybugs, not great.
Loved him in Caddyshack, though.
Not true, but that's what I'm saying. Caddyshack, he was a bit player. He was hysterical, but Back to School was like him. He was the star. It was Rodney Dangerfield in Back to School.
And
Robert Downey Jr.
I would say Robert Downey Jr. was, and there was
but he was a bit part.
A bit part. No, I think that was kind of, 86 kind of. I would have to say that was peak Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah. It's like, this is your time. This is your moment. This is your movie. Because comedy was different back then. And I mean, let's face it. He's funny, but he would never exist hardly nowadays looking the way he does because we just don't do that anymore.
Well, right. And he's also not to, it's not insulting in any way, but he's more of a one-liner street joke kind of comic where nowadays people are more telling stories and weaving it's much more about telling the story and that sort of thing than the let me tell you, the one-liner thing that Rodney always did. I don't know that would work these days. Is there anybody that's really doing it that way anymore?
No, because he was from that older generation, just kind of quips and fast. Everyone now is telling longer stories and their setups. Yeah, he's just different. But I think that was his peak. For whatever reason, the timing worked out. They gave him a shot, gave him the movie. I mean, it's a funny movie because the concept itself, right? He goes back to school. When he's been out of school, he's worth millions, and just how he kind of turns education on its head because he's not going to play by their rules necessarily.
Right. He had Caddyshack was 80.
Okay.
So that was a big one. And then he did Easy Money right after that.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Okay.
In 83. And then Back to School was 86. And after that, I mean,
he was gone.
He didn't do anything. Ladybugs was 92.
That far. I didn't realize that.
6 years later. He was in Natural Born Killers, but that was just a quick part, nothing. And that was it. He really didn't do anything, another real movie after that. As I scroll through this here. Nothing. He did something called My Five Wives in 2000. I don't remember that at all. Little Nicky in 2000. So he did a couple more things. But again, I think 86. I think that was it. That was the top of the charts for him, for Rodney.
Was that his Christopher Cross moment?
maybe
You're good, but you don't look good on camera. So this just isn't going to work too much.
Look, Rodney was not old. I'm not gonna say old because he was younger than us by a little bit, but he was older when he first hit.
Yeah,
because that's the famous story that he tried to be a comedian, it didn't work, and then he was selling like siding, like for houses, and still writing jokes on the side, and then just said, "I'm gonna try to do this again," and then it hit. It worked for him. So I want to say he was in like his 40s when that happened. Because he was born. Let's see. Yeah, he would have been. Gosh, he would have been for Back to School
31.
When he made that. Let's see. He was born in 1921, 60s. So he was in his 60s.
Yeah,
he was 65 when he made Back to School. that just tells you, like, he was. It'd been a while. So when he did Caddyshack, he was in his late 50s. His peak. I agree with you. I think that was it.
He had reached the top, and there it was.
It was again just a fun movie. Him and Sam Kinison, the
professor,
the famous scene when Kinnison's the history teacher.
Talk about Vietnam.
He's screaming about Vietnam,
or was it Korea?
It might have been Korea.
Yeah, I think it was Korea.
Yeah, and then also when he's talking, and it again ties back to your new job when he's talking about. The guy's talking about a factory and
how to get it built.
It's like, oh, you have no idea. And the guy's like, Mr. Mellon. And then he goes through. He's like, well, you got to have kickbacks for the guys because you're not going to get your permits if you don't grease the guy. I was just like, yeah, there you go. That's Gary. That's good. That's what Gary's going to be doing is getting grease for the permit. So, yeah, again, I think that might be peak Rodney. I think 86. Back to School. He was on Carson all the time at that point. He was in Carson prior to that as well. And again, you want to see, we talk about guys that are quick and everything else. Go back and watch some of his interviews when he's on Carson and him and Carson playing off each other. And Johnny will try to trip him up with stuff when he's like, Rodney be trying to set up the joke, and Johnny be like, well, what did your doctor say about that? Like one of those things. Because Rodney be like, oh, man, you have no idea. I've been sick. I went to the doctor. And Johnny was like, oh, what did the doctor tell you? And you can see Dangerfield's like, God damn it, Carson, would you stop? But he just rolls with it, and he's got great, right off the top of his head. It's impressive. He's really, really good on those talk shows. There's some guests that they're just like, you're not very fun. Dangerfield on Carson always was a good time. So, all right, number 2, number 2, I was a little surprised at this, and really because I think Back to School, Aliens, and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, all better movies than this.
Mhm.
But I guess back then it had been such a big hit that the follow-up everybody went to anyway. Karate Kid Part 2 was the number 2 movie of the summer in 1986.
The Return to Okinawa.
Yes.
Yeah, I sort of remember that I wasn't that engrossed that I needed to see it. And I don't know why, as I said here, because I almost want to say I didn't even see it in the theater. I think I saw it on rental or later on because it didn't appeal to me. I guess unlike everyone else as being the number 2, it just jumped on it. But I guess after the first one, some franchises work. I mean, look, they made a TV show, 30 years later, and it worked.
Yeah.
So there's a theme there.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw it. I don't remember if I saw it in the theater or not. Unlike you, I don't remember what I did. But I couldn't tell you one thing from the movie where you're like, that was the scene. Like from the first one, sweep the leg, Johnny. Yeah, sweep the leg, put him in a body bag, all that. You remember all the big scenes, when Daniel LaRusso goes to the Halloween party in the shower, dressed in the shower, so nobody would know who he was and doing all. I mean, there's all those things that you remember from the first movie. I don't remember anything from the second movie at all. Nothing.
Well, I just know that they went back to Okinawa. There was a love interest there.
Right. Which she appears again in Cobra Kai.
Yes.
So.
But the same thing. I can't really point to anything that says, oh, that moment in this movie or this thing happened in that movie. I just kind of remember the story and that's it.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm just kind of like, okay. So that's why I was surprised when I was looking these up. And I was like, I can't believe that was number 2. Because again, as we talked about, I think this was one of the best summers. Back to School, Aliens, Ferris Bueller. There are a couple others that we're just doing top 5 we didn't get to that you're like, oh yeah, that was good. One Crazy Summer was 1986. Again, it didn't do well, but I think if you ask most Gen X people about One Crazy Summer, that John Cusack movie filmed up there in New England where you are, I think people would be like, yeah, that was really good. Yeah. I mean, that's one of mine. If it's on TV, well, I guess I know what I'm doing for the next hour and a half because I'm going to sit down and watch it because it's funny.
And there were so many. Stand By Me, Platoon, The Fly.
Now those were all done
not in the summer,
right?
The summer, and I'm just thinking big terms of 1986.
Yeah.
And the point was, the movie business was so better and wonderful back then, right?
Yeah.
They just put out movies all the time that you liked, you wanted to go see, and there was the summer blockbusters. And nowadays, man, you and I have talked about this. For me, as a movie person, it's just become okay. All right. What? Oh, that's coming out.
I've got to look and see. Everybody's talking about the YouTube kids.
Okay.
There's, I guess, one of the big movies that has come out that may do like $100 million before it's over with is a movie that was directed by these kids. I say kids, 19, 20, 21, whatever they are, that they were doing these like shorts on YouTube that were really, I don't know anything about them because I'm not that age. I guess it was kind of geared towards the younger audience. And then they made a full length movie. I think one of them's called, I can't remember. I'd have to look it up real quick, but apparently it's going like gangbusters and it beat the new Star Wars movie that's out now. Like they beat Star Wars, both of them being released in the same week. So that's pretty darn impressive. So,
well, yeah. I know there's been a lot of angst in the Star Wars community that they did not like The Mandalorian that just came out.
Mandalorian and
Grogu
or whatever it's called.
Yeah. They felt that. A lot of people said this is all part of the Disney ruining the franchise.
Well, they did.
It was really just an extension of the TV show made into 8 episodes of a TV show made into one movie. I mean, I saw it with my son. It was fine. I mean, I'm not blown away by it, but yeah, I mean, it's not hard if you're doing something different, and this may be the wake up call, kids from YouTube making movies that are fantastic and making money. Maybe that's the wake up call the industry needs to get off their butts and come up with something different.
Yeah, here you go. It's called Backrooms. That's the name of it. Backrooms. So far, it has made domestically $97 million.
Ooh.
It's an R-rated movie, horror, sci-fi, and the tagline for it here, as I read off Box Office Mojo, after a therapist patient disappears into a dimension beyond reality, she must venture into the unknown to save him. That's it. So it's a horror movie, but I mean,
feels very Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, well, I think there's a little bit of that to it. But again, it's crushing. It's already made $97 million domestically. It's $134 million worldwide.
I'm gonna have to look this up.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
There it is, Backrooms movie. Huh.
Yeah. So if you get a chance, go see it.
Psychological horror.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy how well it's done. So hats off to them for crushing it. And there's not some big cast person in it. I mean, there's no big giant stars. What's that?
No. I recognize 2 of the names, but they're not like giant stars.
No. I mean, I'm scrolling down through it now. There isn't anybody that's like, oh, I don't remember. I mean, you'll remember some of these people maybe, but you're not like, oh yeah, how do they get that person? That's huge. So yeah, good for them. But that just again goes to show you that they've crushed the Disney folks in the new Star Wars movie.
That's the guy from The League.
There you go. See? All right. So anyway, number one, no surprise. If you remember the summer of '86, you're going to know. And again, it's another one that's in our clip at the beginning of this. Maverick, Goose, Iceman, all of them. Top Gun, 1986. Probably not only the movie of the summer, probably the movie of the year.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Again, another icon. We're getting 2 more out of it to follow up. But no, it was a interesting because there have been military quote unquote movies out, Delta Force. You kind of had these militaristic movies, but it wasn't necessarily about shoot 'em up and all the other movies. This, and again, it's high octane fighter jets, some dog fighting. Of course, that's going to stir up the emotions. And then you sprinkle in a little romance love story for the ladies out there, and you've got a big hit with the 5'6" Tom Cruise. Or
it wasn't like you talked about. I mean, there obviously have been war movies forever since they started making movies. There have been war movies, but they'd always been, kind of like, okay, a lot of, like you said, gunfighting scenes or chariot race scenes or, whatever, when it came to war movies. This didn't have that much combat in it.
No.
That was the great thing about it, but you still had that testosterone stuff. Them, of course, the famous scene playing volleyball out on the beach, and, Cruise is riding his motorcycle, across the tarmac as the jets are taking off and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you had all the testosterone stuff there. And then, like you said, you also had the love interest and that sort of thing. And the swerve that you'd never be able to get away with it now because everybody talks. I went into the movie. I didn't know Goose died. I didn't know that was coming.
Yeah.
That was great. I just remember sitting there being like, I can't believe, they killed his
him.
partner. I was like, they killed his partner. What is going on? I didn't know that. Do you remember knowing that?
Nope, I did not know it.
So,
and I gave them credit because, Disney usually got that out of you by killing the mom in the first 10 minutes of a movie, right? So we wait and drag it in a little bit, and then kill off the best friend about 3/4 of the way through.
Which, I mean, again, when you watch the rest of the movie, it made perfect sense. I mean, it was perfect for the thing. But that's why Top Gun 2 Maverick, it was okay, but it was basically Top Gun just however many years later.
Yes.
Because they kill off Val Kilmer. You know, they kill off his character. So that's the Goose character in this. Like it was all the same.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing, and they're doing then he's got to he's going to deal with this death, and he's still got to go do his job and everything else. So I mean, it was.
But now he's got Goose's kid to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I was like, there's enough that stayed true to the original. That
Yes.
People who saw the original, like us in the theater, were like, okay, nice job. And those who weren't familiar with Top Gun, you could still go see that because you figured out with the flashbacks and the way
The
they talked.
backstory.
You knew who Goose's son was when they first started talking about everything. So you kind of figured that stuff out. I don't know what they're going to do with Top Gun 3. I told
you. He's going to space on that one.
I mean, we got to wait for Disclosure to come out so they can tell us about I thought we were this close a few weeks ago to them. I was getting ready to pull the clips from our New Year's special where we made predictions, and I said they were going to tell us that aliens were real. And then they start talking about it. I was like, oh my gosh, I already got my Dow 50,000 prediction correct. I was like, if I hit the aliens and then Taylor Swift being pregnant this year, I was like, if I get those three, I don't care what else I said, I got them. And then the alien thing ended up being a big nothing burger.
Well, I know, and I love how they set it up and we get hyped for it, and then all of a sudden, silence, nothing.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Like, we put it out there, sure, yeah.
Just tell us the truth. There's so much other stuff going on right now. I don't know that anybody would even. I mean, unless they're gonna, show up on the National Mall and say, "By the way, we're here, and you're all going to become our intergalactic slaves." I don't know if they, if they told us, "Hey, by the way, they live in the ocean. They've been here for centuries. Deal with it." I think I'd be like, "All right." I mean, what are you going to do? They haven't bothered us for the 50-some years I've been on the planet, so what do I care?
Well, I'm waiting to see if Trump pulls this off, before the next election. Even though he's not trying to get reelected, this is the true art of the deal, the closer, the salesman we've been waiting for. He gives you aliens on the mall. It may happen. It's still a possibility.
Got to do something. Although he could bring aliens out on the National Mall, and they could be like, "Hey, guess what, people? Here's energy. We figured out a way that you can burn all of your data centers and everything else, and it won't cost you anything. We figured out free energy," whatever they want to call it, whatever it is. And we, the aliens, are giving this to you. Finally, we think you're ready for it. Congratulations. Here it is. And everybody would be like, "I don't want any of that Trump free energy." That's exactly what would happen.
Give me the guy with the Nazi tattoo.
That's right. I don't want any of that. I'm not taking that Trump free energy. It's all AI. It's a lie. There's no aliens. It's exactly what there'd be people that'd be like, "I don't want that alien free energy." It probably comes with something.
Yes.
That's what would happen.
Free energy bad. Orange man bad.
Exactly. So, but I'm waiting for Taylor Swift to make her announcement that she's pregnant, and I thought we were going to be on the aliens, and it didn't happen.
You should keep calling her people and ask to confirm rumors. You're a journalist.
I should. That would be like, "Hey, could we get a comment? We heard that Taylor was pregnant," and
see how hard they deny it.
I'm sure I would get zero response.
What? We're the Gen X Men show.
Yeah, well, fair.
We got clout.
But all right, before we get out of here,
yes,
you wanted to tell the story about how McDonald's ripped off one of your burger franchises there in Central Virginia, I guess.
Yes, Happy Meals, introduced in June of 1979. Now, internally, they claim that the idea was, hey, we have seen the marketing to kids through cereal boxes with characters and toys inside.
Yep.
And how can we translate that to fast food, because for those who don't remember, people didn't eat out a whole bunch back then. It was a treat. It was a special occasion. And so this was one more way. If we can drag the kids in because they won something, it'll force mom and dad to come in and spend money. So that was the whole theory behind the Happy Meal. The issue was, of course, McDonald's won, is prior to McDonald's, there was Burger Chef, which was a franchise competitor, Indiana, through the South, other places. They had their fun meal already with their characters of Burger Chef and Jeff and a whole bunch of others. So as a kid, where I grew up, for some reason, Mechanicsville, Virginia did not have the McDonald's yet, but we had Burger Chef. It was the last food before you left town, quote unquote, before we drove out to the country where we lived. So we always went to Burger Chef, and I always remember the fun meals. So, and then, of course, we get the McDonald's in, I think it was 80, 81. And, of course, they've already got their Happy Meals. And, of course, when they build their new McDonald's, it's the one with the playground indoors. That's how you take the competitor out down the street, by building a brand new McDonald's that has, the was not Mayor McCheese.
It was Mayor McCheese or the Big Mac.
The Big Mac dressed in the police uniform.
Yeah.
That was the big tower in the center of that room that you crawled up on the inside and had to slide down. But anyway, so Happy Meals, right? It's food. It's a toy. It draws kids in. And, Burger Chef sued, saying it was a proprietary thing and they couldn't do it. But, of course, McDonald's had more attorneys and were the bigger boys on the block, and they won. So that's why we still have Happy Meals. And, for McDonald's, all the tie-ins over the years from movies and everything else, it's just the staple of the American diet, if you will.
Yeah. The first Happy Meal toys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember any of them?
I think there was an eraser. It was like school stuff.
McDonald Land character eraser. And it was an eraser shaped like a character from McDonald Land. There was a McDoodle stencil.
Okay.
It was a stencil for drawing and creativity. A McWrist wallet.
Ooh.
So it was a small wallet designed for kids. An ID bracelet, which is a bracelet that can be personalized. A puzzle lock, which is a small puzzle toy that challenged kids. And a spinning top. Those 6 toys in the initial McDonald's Happy Meal lineup.
Yep. And that's a big thing, because the Happy Land characters, they weren't part of the McDonald's legend at that point. They kind of came along through the Happy Meals as part of that introduction, because before that it was just sort of Ronald McDonald and that was about it. And then you got the Mayor McCheese and Grimace.
I feel like they weren't before that.
From what I remember, they weren't.
I feel like the commercials with like the Hamburglar and everything else was before. I don't know. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like they had always been along for the ride. But maybe
I think they'd been there, but not quite as much. And of course,
okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah,
the Happy Meal brings them into that next level of remembrance, especially for our age group.
Yeah,
because I remember my big thing always was the glasses.
Oh,
it didn't come in a Happy Meal, but it was a whole premium that if you bought certain meals and stuff, you could get the whole collection of Ronald McDonald glasses.
And I'm sure they're still out there, and I'm sure people are trying to get $30 a glass for them.
Oh, yeah. Well, supposedly on eBay, you can find some of those old toys, hundreds of dollars, still sealed in its original plastic that people are paying premiums for.
That would be amazing.
But, from... What else did they have? I remember Transformers, Hot Wheels cars.
Oh yeah, yep.
It's just been, again, for us Gen Xers, it's been a staple of childhood and everything else for us growing up for years. And sometimes I still get them because I don't need. If I'm on the go, I can just get a Happy Meal and have a little taste of McDonald's without the expenditure and everything else with the regular size meal.
Yeah, here's a 1977 vintage McDonald's Collector Series glasses, a set of 5. And here are the 5. It's Ronald McDonald, it's Grimace, the Hamburglar, Mayor McCheese, and it looks like Officer Big Mac there. That's the
Officer
5.
Big Mac. Yeah.
Yep. So that was 1977.
I
Crazy.
think I showed you that someone was selling the Officer Big Mac climbing gym here on Facebook a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I should have bought that thing. Put him up here on the property.
But people, for a set of 5, people want $35. And then there's another one that somebody wants $75 for them. So, yeah, it just depends. If you shop around, you'll be able to get some good ones. So, you don't
Complete your set today.
Make sure that you're not, snapping up the first one you see, because you might be able to find it a little bit cheaper if you scroll. So, so there you go. There you go. Yeah, so that's one of those things. Again, Happy Meals. I don't remember. I mean, I'm sure we got them, but I remember we got the glasses. I remember having the McDonald's glasses, but I don't remember. And I mean, 79, I was 8. So, I mean, I would have been in that demo immediately. I don't remember like clamoring for the Happy Meal all that often. I don't know why. I just don't remember being like, oh, I got to get a Happy Meal. And I guess by the time you're 12 or 13, you're probably like, I don't want a Happy Meal anyway. So maybe it's just a kind of a blank spot because I don't remember. I'm sure I did, but I don't remember being like, ooh, I need this. But again, I wasn't a kid that ate a lot of cereal growing up. So I wasn't conditioned to be like, oh, dig in the box and pull a toy out. I never did any of that. So, I would just eat Fruit Loops out of the box. I wouldn't put milk or anything with them. I'd just sit there and snack them.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But who doesn't love good Fruit Loops, though? That was one of my favorites.
Yeah, Fruit Loops are good. It's all sugar. So that's why. So they're delicious. So, I don't know. Anyway, so you had the 86 movie list there. Were there any others on there other than, again, the top 5 of the summer? We'll run through them real quick. Ferris Bueller, Aliens, Back to School, Karate Kid, Top Gun. Again, I love One Crazy Summer, mainly because I like the radio contest where the guy won, and then when he turned around, I did it. He ripped the phone out of the wall. That made me laugh so much when I was a kid. I thought that was fantastic. It's a dumb gag, but it made me laugh when I was 15. So
it was good writing. Like I said, there's some of those movies that just don't get the credit because when they got released, what they were up against. And again, we were allowed to see movies that the studios took bigger chances back then, right? Okay, we'll try to make that movie. Nowadays, especially post-COVID, it's so limited. So there's a lot of good things we probably won't see, or we won't pay attention to it because it got released straight to streaming, and it just gets lost in the massive amount of stuff that's available online that, unless you hear about it, get a good review, you're just not going to pay attention to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because Carrie and I talk all the time. We're like, oh, we should go out and do something. We're like, let's go see a movie. And you'll look and be like, there's nothing that I'm like, oh, we should go do that. Like, it just hasn't been there. I mean, as far as movies go. But I may have to check out this Back Rooms or whatever it was. It sounds interesting. And everything I've heard about it, again, it was these kids that kind of put it together. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. Why not? Or wait for it to hit Netflix. One of the two. Yeah,
I've got my 2 World War II movies coming up, so that's what I've been waiting for. And then Young George Washington in July.
Young George Washington, I may go see because I bet the battle scenes probably look fantastic on the big screen.
Yes,
would be my guess. So that may be the one that I actually am like, I need to go see that.
Yep,
and maybe I'll see it on July 4th when it's released. Why not?
Yeah. But Pressure and what's the other? Oh, Lucky Strike. Those are my 2. I don't know. I kind of have a thing for the World War II movies, especially on the big screen. It just it deserves the big screen versus the smaller screen that we have here at the house.
Right. Understandable. All right. Anything else before we get out of here for the week?
No, I was just going to say you have not understood disappointment until you're a child who asks for the boy toy and the Happy Meal, and your parents drive away and you open it up and it's the girl toy.
This concludes this episode of Gen X Men with Bill Rowland and Gary Dollarhite. Gen X Men is now off the air.